Hey, sleepy, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm going to do an album review on the latest My Little Port album, Sabina之淚, or in English, Sabina's Tears, or just one tear. So, My Little Airport has finally released their latest album. Very anticipated, many wows. I'm excited about the album, and I think a lot of other Hong Kongers are excited about this album as well. And, I'm doing an album review on Hong Kong music again, yes. And I don't want to repeat this every time I talk about Hong Kong music, but the music industry of Hong Kong is garbage. It is absolutely terrible. As I think we all know, Hong Kong's mainstream music is boring, cheesy, cliche, and copycats of one another, and Hong Kong's indie music is lackluster and mediocre, having potential but not utilizing it well. However, I must say that 2021 has been quite a roll for Hong Kong music. First of all, we have the new Mirror album, Mirror being the latest boy band that came out of Hong Kong, and Mirror is all the rage among Hong Kong teenagers right now. Everybody knows who Cantopop is, everybody knows who's Chen Yin. Mirror and Error, it's all the rage. So Mirror's latest album, me personally, I think it's kind of mediocre, not really all that great, but for some people it's really good, so there's that. Next up, we have the latest Serini album, which I had been looking forward to as well, because Serini's singles have always been pretty good, at least for a few of them. And again, I don't think Serini's latest album is good or anything, but it has potential, it is competent, and I think that Hong Kong music may have a chance. May. But anyways, now we're gonna talk about the latest My Little Airport album. My Little Airport is an indie pop Twee pop duo formed in the early 2000s between Nicole Au and P. And I have reviewed their sophomore album in my channel, released in 2005, and that album is genuinely the best album out of all Hong Kong music I've ever listened to. And it's not like I've listened to a lot of Hong Kong music, but out of all the albums I've listened to, My Little Airport's sophomore album is personally my favorite out of all of them. It is very competent, it is adventurous, it is fun, sweet, dreamy at times, lovely, endearing, and it's just fun loving, and I really like that. But damn, time flies, and it's been nearly 2 decades since the formation of My Little Airport, and they have released a new album, Sabina's Tears. By the way, the girl in the cover, it's not one of the members in My Little Airport. It's not Nicole Au. It's not her. My Little Airport, of course, continues the tradition of putting a random girl on their album cover. Just some random girl. But throughout the years, My Little Airport has gone from being adventurous and fun-loving to mellow and softer, which is not a direction that I really enjoy. Notifications, now is not the time. However, there is still a chance for some lovely, sweet lullabies and spacey songs that maybe I can enjoy, who knows. However, I personally need to be honest with you. I don't think this album is anywhere as good as My Little Airport's earlier material. That being said though, I still enjoy a few tracks off of this album. That being said, the first few tracks are bad. They're just bad. So the album starts off with 詩歌舞街, or singing and dancing in the streets. And this has to be the worst My Little Airport song I've ever heard. We get these 90s blipping, tooting keyboards which sound really outdated and old and stale. The instrumentals just come off really corny and once again, stale and lackluster. But the worst thing about the first track are the vocals. Now, Nicole Ao has never been a great singer or anything, but when she sings in a very amateurish way. And usually when she does that, it does create this nice, intimate, innocent feel to it, which really fits the style of My Little Airport. But on this track, her vocals are so amateurish, it sounds like a bad karaoke session. It just sounds terrible. So that's an immediately the worst track on the entire album. The second track is also not good at all. We have下了兩天雨, which basically means it's been raining for 2 days already, and it is a spacey, slow-paced Twee pop song. And we have sad lyrics about the cloudy skies, and also the last leg of the track, why am I the only one hurting? Why am I the only one hurting? Which is a little bit corny, wouldn't be the word, but a little bit self-indulgent maybe. But what I dislike about this track really is how bland the instrumentals are, and the thing that Nicole Ao always does in her songs. Again, sometimes it comes off nice and soft, sometimes it's just annoying, and I think the latter is the case. This is a song that you would definitely hate if you listen to it in a bad mood. Now, the next track is which is definitely better. We have relaxing guitars and keyboards, the melodies and the hooks are better. That being said though, I'm not a huge fan of the brevity. It's only 2 minutes long and it doesn't really progress all that much. However, it's only uphill from here. The next track,每次你走的時分, or Every Time You Leave, is kind of nice. It has upbeat guitars paired with moody synths. It has a really nice, sweet guitar solo in the middle, and the track title is Every Time You Leave, and obviously lyrically it is about feeling sad every time your loved one leaves. And My Little Airport is really good at writing lyrics when it comes to describing moments like this, feeling sad for a loved one, with a loved one, feeling happy and excited with a loved one, love and the feelings within. Then it is the single 因講了出來, or Because I Have Said It Out Loud. And I like the car seat headrest-esque smooth guitars, the lullaby vocals, and overall, despite the spoken word bits, which I'm not a huge fan of, I still like the lyrics, which basically details the protagonist, or Nicole Ao herself, going to different places, remembering really loving, sweet times with her loved one, and overall it is a really sweet song that I genuinely like. The next track is Queen, all caps, and we have some French spoken word by Nicole's younger sister on this track, which is really common in a lot of My Little Airport albums. There is a bit of a French fetish going on because there's a lot of French in My Little Airport albums in general, but yeah, the French is not particularly all that great. But we have the 80s cyber synths, which at first I didn't like, but after a while I kind of get used to it, plus the light drum beats. The whole track just becomes kind of sweet and euphoric. This is then followed by宋代Sad Boy, or Song Dynasty Sad Boy, and it's kind of similar to the previous track with the sweet guitars, the bubbly keyboards, and the hand claps and beats, which slowly and gradually sound more and more like a lipstick commercial. Then we have the track 20 gigabytes, or a 20 GB, and I like it. It has these moody, lonesome, cold guitars, and I like the guitar solo bit, but I feel like I've heard it somewhere else before, and I've thought about this for a very long time. I just can't figure out where I've heard it from. But anyways, it sounds good on this track, so I'm just gonna let it slide. But another problem I have with this track is the spoken word. Again, I'm not a huge fan, and Nicole Ao on this track basically talks about how, you know, she sent a mail to her boyfriend, and 2 days later she showed up in front of her boyfriend's door with a sweater saying, "I'm the male." Come on. Next up, we have the title track, which is kind of bland. The pianos, the beats, the melodies, they're all kind of stale, kind of forgettable. Then it is a track,只收一半, only receiving half, where we have some lukewarm synths. And on this track, P basically talks. And P is the male part of the duo, and his voice is very deadpan, very deep, and it's not funny or anything, nor is it special or anything. It just sounds boring. It just sounds redundant. Then we have the track散步之年, which means the year of the stroll or the year of the walk, and it is another mediocre song where lyrically they reminiscent to the past, eating rice noodles, hanging out in the night market in Thailand. Then we have the track那陣時不知道. I didn't know at the time. And it is also one of the better tracks in the album. We have some lullaby keyboards. We have a slow jazzy chord progression. We have a saxophone mimicking keyboards. And once again, lyrics about reminiscing, drinking white coffee, staring at bookshelves in the library. Then it is the track 今夜雪糕, Ice Cream Tonight. And once again, we have these 90s blippy bloopy synths, which I'm not a huge fan of. But again, lyrically, it is definitely something special and interesting, singing about eating ice cream tonight, imagining myself being arrested tomorrow afternoon, a slight and small hint of the very dire political and social situation in Hong Kong right now. But overall, lyrically, I think it is about being in the moment, living in the moment. That being said though, instrumentally, this is a really mild one. Then we have the track Cantopop, or Classmate K, where the instrumentals become disjointed, and I think unintentionally, because we have these floaty, runny keyboards, and then these rhythms that are kind of scant and a little bit offbeat. And while the vocal harmonies are quite nice, instrumentally it is still kind of messy, and I don't think it's intentional at all. Then we have the track Yin, or Smoke, and then that is followed by the last track, Yin, or Wallow. They are two words that sound similar, so them as the last two tracks, kind of parallels one another. But anyways, Yin has the soft guitars, soft synths. It is basically your average My Little Airportisms. But the last track, Wallow, is amazing. It is amazing, and it is my favorite song off of the entire album. This track is the only track on the entire album where there are no reverby effects and layers of everything. It's just acoustic guitars and vocals, and that's it. And honestly, it is a beautiful ending, and dare I say, romantic. I like the bare vocals, I like the lovesick lyrics, I love the dreamy guitar lick at the end of the track, and because of how dreamy the chords on this track is and how bare the mixing of this track is, the singing has so much more weight and so much more presence to it, and I actually enjoy this so much more. So yeah, overall, My Little Airport's latest album, it's kind of a hit and miss. Some tracks here are bad, some tracks here are great, and some tracks here are just in the middle, and I guess I would really love it if My Little Airport goes for a more adventurous direction. But yeah, still not that bad of an album. Not that great either. My favorite track here is Yin, and my least favorite track is 詩歌舞街. I'm giving My Little Airport's Sabina之淚a strong 6. I'm going to be generous here, and I'm going to give it a light 7 out of 10. Light 7 out of 10. Very light. So, have you listened to the latest My Little Airport album? From 1 to 10, how much did you rate it? Like it and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.